only category now in which we can make more than one selection. We will start with Kenny Florian's 2022 Robert Follis Memorial Coach of the Year.
Kenny Florian's 2022 Coach of the Year, Raymond Peter Longo.
Leave it in here. All right, Aljo. Leave it in. Come on, we talked about this. Let's fucking prove it now. You look great. Let's go.
Sterling. Some might suggest a 10-8.
Aljo, look at him. Look at him. Look at the motherfucker. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, Ray.
Amazing.
God, you gotta love Ray Longo.
A little redemption this weekend. He's not the boogeyman everybody thought he was, the real boogeyman, right? You gotta believe in yourself. Everybody's fucking beatable. And having to sit there for a year and take all that fucking stupid bullshit after getting illegally deeds, I gotta give it up to the guy. It takes a strong mind to do that. So, man, everybody.
Yeah, Joe!
Oh, and I love that sound.
What's the matter? What did he talk to me? What's the matter?
I broke my thumb.
You think you broke your thumb? Which hand?
All right.
All right, let's go. Come on, you still got the other hand, There's nothing you can do about it. Let's go.
Oh, I love some of that sound from the post-fight celebration back at the gym. Ken Flo's 2022 Robert Follis Memorial Coach of the Year, the great Ray Longo, who now joins us live.
Such a surprise! I didn't know. That's why I wore this shirt just for. I was groping. I was praying. I was actually praying. I tell you, I listen to those clips and I go, "What the fuck is wrong with me, man? I don't have no idea. No idea." I tell you.
Well, hey, congratulations. This was a huge year for you. And obviously you sort of put the finishing touches, or perhaps not, but on this amazing career legacy with your third undisputed champion, and had the championship parade and everything else. But Ken Flo, Ray obviously distancing himself from a very talented pack of coaches and cornermen and women for you in 2022. Your thoughts?
Well, listen, Ray's been in the game for a long time and has been doing an amazing job for a long time, producing, multiple champions at this point now. But I think this year was awesome just because of, what Aljamain Sterling did and how he was able to come back. Sometimes, and Ray might agree with me here, it might be all the time, it's easier to give someone technical knowledge than it is to kind of build them up mentally and get them to believe that they can go out there and win that fight when they need to. Saying the right things at the right time as a cornerman is absolutely crucial. You're not going to be able to teach them in between rounds. You got 60 seconds at best to show someone what they need to do out there. How do you get them motivated and remind them of who they are and what they're trying to achieve out there? That is difficult. And I thought Ray has always done that brilliantly, but he did that especially so when his fighters were dealing with a bunch of adversity. You could also, so those two title defenses from Aljo, I think were absolutely amazing. You also talk about Merab. Merab isn't the most talented dude in the world in regards to being the most skillful guy. Going in against a guy, one of the greatest champions of all time in Jose Aldo, and having that game plan, executing like he did, shows tremendous guidance and mentorship from Ray Longo and Matt Serra and the rest of the guys there. So I thought that was extremely impressive. Again, just given what they were dealing with. So, Ray got my vote.
I agree with everything you say. I appreciate that. Really do. Let me say a couple of things. First, thank you to Aljo for making me look better, and Merab, who I'm on my way to see right after this. And Kenny's right. Not the most technical guy, but I'll tell you, Kenny, when he's smashing those tie pads, and he is getting more technical. We had a great session yesterday. We're going to have a great session today. I want to get with him as much as I can before he goes back. But the other thing is, look, man, I'm actually nothing without Serra, man. If it's not for Matt Serra, I'm not even sitting here talking to you guys. So I became the front man, but I've always loved coaching with him. I never wanted to coach without him, but, life takes you in different directions, and you got family. My family's already grown up. My kids are 27, 26. He's got young kids going. So, he's been a little more pick and choosy with what's going on. And again, if you like a guy who loves family first, then Sarah's your guy. It's all good, man. We are a family down there. What Merab and Aljo have done is just amazing to me. That's the problem we have now. That's what we're talking about every day. Like, what are we doing? Because you got two guys that are like buzzsaws. I think Aljo's by far at the top of his game right now. And I'll make a bet even. I have no idea. I didn't even talk to him. I called him for New Year's, but, we just texted with each other. I bet he had a great time with Dominic Cruz, and I bet you Dominic Cruz really, really appreciates him now. I think he's a good guy. You don't get to know it until you're really hands-on with him. And I think Cruz is a very much a student of the game as anybody could be, and I think that's what they have in common, and they probably have different approaches, but I bet you that connection was a great connection. And again, I haven't talked to anybody. Maybe Cruz will say, no, I can't stand the guy, but I doubt it. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He gives back to his teammates always. Can't thank these guys enough for making me look good. But, the technical advice should be done in the gym. Me and Aljo, we laugh about this all the time, because when the guy's in the corner and the guy just says, get up, and everybody starts going, well, you got to tell him how to get up. Nah, if that guy don't know how to get up at that point, he doesn't even belong to be in there. So we go back and forth with jokes with that, because sometimes in the gym, we'll just start screaming, get up, just to make a joke out of it. But of course they know how to build a base and get back up and do that and move your head. That's when sometimes a guy will, go someplace and train. I go, what'd you get? He goes, oh, no, it was great, man. He told me to move my head after I throw the jab. And I want to take the guy, Kenny, by the throat and just fucking choke him to death. I swear to God, because I go, that's really good, man. That is, but they're all very well trained. If you ever watch these guys break down techniques, whether it's on the ground or standing up, you'll see it's put together pretty well. And, technical advice, unless it's something very blatant, I think, and again, you're there to remind the guy of all the good things he could do, and the mental side of it. We've watched guys crumble, Kenny, in there, crumble under pressure, and I never want to see happen. So, I choose the route to become like more of a cheerleader at times, but that's what I feel like I have to do, and I know my guy. Yeah. And that's the other thing. You don't know what's going on in the gym. You don't know what we've been through watching 50 rounds of sparring. And that's all I'm doing is recapping that in the corner.
Well, congratulations. This is a meritocracy. Ken Flo's not just going to throw that award out there if he didn't want to acknowledge you. You finished 9th for me. Do you want to hear the 8 names ahead of you?
No, but I know, let's see, who would you have first? I don't know.
Well, you're going to have to stay tuned. Really? That's happening after you leave. I can't reveal that. You really want to stick around and hear my coach of the year right now? Is that what you want to do? I'd rather talk to you about some other things.
I don't want to rip the shirt off my back while we're while we're taping.
All right. Well, I'm sure there's somebody at the gym who could X out my face on your T-shirt, and it can just be Ken Flo front and center.
Buddy.
But
holy crow, he's not going to do me dirty, is he?
I had you 9th. I do think it's very cool to see Aljamain Sterling and Dominic Cruz align, although I'm not surprised. I've had myriad conversations with Dom about Aljo, and he marvels at his physical strength, among other things. But I think it's a cool connection. And I think with Cruz, knowingly 2 wins away, probably, it's a good time for those two guys to connect, because I just don't think the stars are aligned for them to fight
plus
anytime
I think those
soon.
are two guys that if they had a fight, they know it's a business and they'll go in there and fight. I don't think that. See, I think you got two guys that don't have a problem with that at all. They might not, smack talk and do all the bullshit, but
You'd have a real issue if Aljo was small for 35 and smack dab in the middle of his fighting prime at 27 years old, or with Merab and all that, right? But thankfully, that's not necessarily your reality. Aljo has seemingly been willing to move to 45 for a little while. But yeah, man, Merab he's like overdue at this point. It's a really unique circumstance. Like when you all of a sudden look up, he's overdue for a title shot, and you see Chito Vera and Corey Sandhagen fighting, and things are moving. But for Merab, it's like if you saw anything he posted on Instagram, it's like Happy New Year. But you got to let the bat out of the cage eventually.
They're gonna torture him for not wanting to fight Aljo. I think that's what it comes down to. And I get it; it's a business, but I think look for different storylines and build up both guys, and you could have something going on, I'm sure. But I like that they're not fighting. That's the way that gym is built. I hope it stays that way. That time when John Jones and Rashad Evans out of Jackson, that shit just bothered bothered the piss out of me, man. Just ruining friendships for what? You look back now for what? Stick with who you got. Who was there first? Stick with that. I don't get. Look, I never sold out for the money, so I'm not. That's not gonna. That's not gonna mean anything to me. You know what I mean? I want guys to win. I want them to build a future for themselves, become better people, contribute back to society, raise a family, do all the good things, and, get off to a great start with what these guys are doing. They own multiple houses. They're traveling the world. These guys are just great guys living life, man. They went out and they went for it, and they're really enjoying the fruits of their labor. It's not even over yet,
No, you're right. No, I think you put that well. It was cool to watch them sort of chronicle that Jamaica trip from afar. So speaking of it not being all about the money, I'd like to congratulate Extra Rounds on being the UFC Fight Pass Podcast of the Year. I mean, what exactly are we doing here? Extra Rounds, congratulations, Ray, by the way, right? Ray Longo, contributor. Oh, this is breaking news to you?
That is breaking.
So that podcast is under their banner, right? Like they produced that podcast, and then on their year-end awards show, hey, thanks for the nomination, right? Anik and Florian Podcast. Hey, we'll take the fucking nomination, right? I lead the league in nominations. I never won anything, right? I got fucking participation trophies over here if you want to see them, right? But congratulations, right? We got nominated. I'm like, oh, let me check it out. Do we have any chance to fucking win this thing?
Slow down, Evidently Fokker. Not. 11th place is better than, I know 11th place is better than 15th place, but, that's why you threw me back to number 9, because the Fight Pass.
No, I actually had you 9 before I realized that we got hosed in whatever podcast.
Wait, are you telling me to try? I really have no idea.
I love TJ DeSantis, one of my best friends in the space, former producer of this podcast. But yes, he hosted the award show. And unless I'm mistaken, Extra Rounds was the UFC Fight Pass Podcast of the Year, which is fun.
Love it. That's great. That's all
right.
Sorry about that, guys. I know that.
We'll see if we deliver that Anik and Florian rewind on time this month. No, I'm just kidding. Just
I
just
didn't even know that. That's crazy.
So I know you weren't watching Monday Night Football right now, but unless you live in a bunker, obviously you've heard what happened to Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, I did see that. It was all over the news. Any word on him today, or?
No, I mean, I believe his condition is still critical. I believe he's been intubated, and it was cardiac arrest on the field. They were able to get a heartbeat back on the field, and I think the medical professionals obviously deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah, that's no joke. And man, my heart goes out to that guy. And I love the way they canceled that game, and the teams. You could see that shit runs deep, and I hope that kid's all right, man. Way too young for that.
And I know I'm medically ignorant, but I do think, and hopefully he survives and has all his faculties about him. But for all of these sports in which there are basketball is a very physical sport, right? That to be able to administer an AED immediately in any of these sports, or do whatever it takes in that moment, in the octagon, in the playing arena, because the time is critical. Yeah. And, obviously there were circumstances here where maybe it looked like he was going into the ambulance and then he was pulled back because they were doing CPR. I mean, just crazy.
I got to tell you that. Well, yeah, thank God for the medical professionals and being able to act that quickly, because that's, I've seen that a couple of times too. Even in a bar fight, a guy gets punched in the chest, he's dead, and then it's, manslaughter. I mean, it's just, that's, I didn't see the hit, but it had to be brutal. It had to be pretty.
It wasn't
commodio cordis.
They had some hard thing where it disrupts the rhythm of the heartbeat. And I'm not switching gears, but remember the old death touch. People, the guy hits you here. That's kind of, I think, where it's coming from. You could punch a guy in a certain spot, or maybe you hit him in the liver, and then 2 hours later his liver shuts down. There's nothing death touchy about it, but your vital organs are protected.
100% places.
Yeah. He had to get hit perfect, right? It's almost like when you get hit in the solar plexus, like right in between where the ribs meet. That's the only space you can't really protect. So I hope he's all right. I hope this is got a silver lining at the end of this somehow. But
Yeah. Let us all pray for that. So we're going to get back to the awards here shortly, Ray. But before we do, let you go connect with Merab Dvalishvili. Obviously, it's been a sad several weeks in the MMA space. I'm sitting around on Christmas Eve and get a text from our great UFC producer, Zach Candido, that Stefan Bonner had passed away.
We didn't talk about that yet. Oh, man.
We were off.
Man, I had some really fun interaction. Oh, but Kenny, I mean, you got to be heartbroken over that too, right? Man, that guy was a nice guy. That last video where he's asking for the pain meds was hard to watch. I don't know. That's a shame, man. Stefan Bonner was a good guy. I know Quinta put up a picture where they were at some fight right after he won right after he had the Forrest Griffin fight, and we were talking about that. And this year we lost some people way too early. Way too early.
And that's another thing to mention. I mean, how many professional fighters in the game today do you think also were inspired by Stefan and Forrest's fight? I can't tell you how many people are like, I got into the sport either watching or training or became a professional fighter because they saw that fight. That is powerful. And that is something that can be never taken away.
And I got to tell you how many people could tell you where they were when they saw that fight. Everybody.
Right.
I had 20, 30 people in the gym hovered around a little shitty TV watching that. We stopped training and that was it. We were like, wow, this is crazy. And look, I was there with the Spike days too. To me, they were great times, literally great times, man. I don't even know where the fuck time is flying, man. It's kind of, that part kind of stinks because it seems like yesterday I was in Vegas even for like Tough Six with Matt and Drago and fucking crazy, man. This is nuts.
Crazy. Still going strong. Yeah. Still going strong. Kenny, though, you do hit on a point that just comes across like every other UFC fighter bio when I'm prepping for these cards, right? They say, what got you into mixed martial arts? Either Hoist Gracie or Griffin Bonner, man. Unbelievable. All right, my man. Well, Happy New Year. What was the best thing you did over the holidays, and what was the thing that you had to do that you really did not want to do?
I had to.
And don't tell me there was nothing you had to do over the holidays, right? We're in this society of gratitude and like, I get to do everything. I don't have to do everything. I get to do it.
I'm that first. Don't worry about it. So you think I'm going to say nothing in this house? I had to go to Jersey on Christmas Day. But
I love the way he says it. I had to go.
I got dragged out by my head. But but it actually worked out great. It was really, really good. No traffic. Which I was only worried about. I didn't want to sit in traffic for 3 hours, but no traffic, so that was good. But that was something I didn't want to do. But then after everything worked out great.
Yeah, it's like when your wife's like, "Hey, there's this new couple I'd like," and it's like, "What? I'm 44. I don't want any new friends."
Point with even moving at this point. What am I moving for? Imagine I move into South Carolina, go with a cake. Hey, I'm your new neighbor. As the poor guy calls his real estate agent to get the fuck out of Dodge. I mean, what am I doing, Kenny? What do you do? I don't want to. I love people, but man, I don't even want to go through that. There's a lot of people out there that I love, and it's great to have a lot of friends, But
there's only one reason for you to move. Weather. Yeah. But that doesn't bother you. You're tough. You're hardened, right? You're hardened. You're long, fucking hard.
You guys, I don't think we get it that bad. No,
you're right. We are a little bit tougher, a little bit colder.
Those streets are pretty narrow in that city. I don't know how anybody's moving.
But heaven forbid, though, in 2023, you say to someone, "I have to do something," as if you're not in some way, shape, or form grateful that exercise is in your life. I don't even know. We got to go though. Do you want to stick around for my coach of the year? You got to go.
I don't have my ego is too fragile. I can't do it. I'll start crying on the podcast. Anyway, Kenny, thank you very much. Cody,
absolutely.
I'm going to thank you too. I'll only leave one guy out, but thank you guys. Listen, we had a great 22. Now we're building. We're going places. Now, do you feel it?
Let's go.
Do you feel
keep it up.
Are you high now?
Hey, you want some breaking news? I'm not high. You want some breaking news?
Yes, I'm not high.
You want some breaking news right now?
I'm not high. Yeah, go ahead.
Good chance we go 2 episodes a week in 2023.
Really? Holy shit. Are you kidding? I love it.
How about that?
People got to look
All right.
at this,
Buckle up.
John. I mean, Kenny, can you see him? There's something mischievous about that look. Look at him.
Yeah.
Hey, guys,
Big
come
things.
on, man.
Big things.
I mean, I want to
man.
thank you guys, TJ DeSantis, everybody, for making me.
Yeah, thank the Academy. Yeah. Great day, better evening. We'll see you later, all right? There he is. Yeah. Ray Longo. Ken Flo's 2022 Coach of the Year. And I did not have him 9th for the record. He was 7th, but still not top 5 for me in 2022. I actually had 12 names written down when I started. We can pick 2 coaches of the year. So I landed on 2 coaches and their respective teams. Cody, kindly roll the tape.
Jon Anik's 2022 Coach and Corner of the Year, Dave Lavelle and Fernelli Feliz Sr.
Stop being the boss here. Come on, Leon. Be the boss. Okay? Come on, we're going to pull that one now. It's 1-1. Come on. Come on, Leon. Feet as well. Come on. Don't make him bully you, Leon. Don't let him bully you, son. Sit down. Listen. You got to get lively now, Leon. You're too down. Come on. You're letting him control you too much, son. You got to get your hands going, Leon. You got to get your hands going. Come on. Listen, stop feeling sorry for your fucking self. Well, come on then. What's wrong with you? You're too fucking down. You got to pull the shit out of fire. Come on, Leon, man. You got it, man. Come on. Come on. Stay on him.
I love that guy.
Oh, I do too, DC. UFCFightPass.com for the audio. Dave Lavelle is the guy. Dave, come to Boca Raton, Florida. Talk me through my strength and conditioning workout in the backyard, if you would. So that was audio from Dave Lavelle, obviously his famous corner work that preempted Leon Edwards, or predated Leon Edwards' unbelievable knockout of Kamaru Usman late in that fight. I love the chance to acknowledge that team, and obviously it's not just Dave, but he is the head coach and has long been the right-hand man of Leon Edwards. A huge career, life-altering win for Dave Lavelle. Congratulations to him. And Fernelli Feliz Sr., right? I mean, sneaky building a powerhouse in Danbury, Connecticut. If some of these other guys, Wellington Turman and Dominic Reyes, can emerge a little bit, right? Glover Teixeira's longtime coach, Fernelli Feliz Sr., Fernelli Feliz Jr., his son, very talented fighter under that roof, who has been a valuable training partner to a lot of people there in Danbury, Connecticut. But people gravitate towards Fernelli Feliz Sr., and obviously he was instrumental in Alex Pineda becoming the UFC's middleweight champion in 2022. My coaches of the year for 2022, Dave Lavelle and Fernelli Feliz Sr. Shout out to Plinio Cruz, by the way, as well, in the corner of Alex Pineda.